Hey y'all, it's your girl Michaela Janae here, back with another video. And in today's video, I want to talk really quickly about how I had to find humility in entrepreneurship. I recently did a video about how I had to put God back in first place when it came to my career, and you guys really enjoyed that video. So now I want to talk about being humble in entrepreneurship and humble at work and in your craft and all of that, because a lot of times I see entrepreneurs and people who are talented have a really big ego, and their job or their craft or the thing they're good at becomes an idol for them because they take so much pride. That's the word I'm looking for. They take so much pride in their ability to create beautiful things, or their ability to provide a service, or their need in a community or a space. They put that above God, which that is idolatry. And you guys know I'm always talking about idols, because there's so many things that can become an idol in our life that we don't even consider. We consider idols, you know, literally statues or money, but it's so much more than that. It's so much more than the things that was just in the Bible. In today's world, almost anything can be an idol, and I talk about that all the time. Even our race can be an idol, but that's a whole nother video. But today I want to talk about, you know, being humble in business. God has blessed me with many things that I'm able to do. I'm able to bless other people with things, but I never took it as I built myself up to this place and it's my talent and it's me who got me here. No, I was never like that. Everything that I'm good at is because of God. There's no way that I should be good as I am as doing certain things without any lessons, without any training. Like, that's only God. So I always had a good perspective of knowing that at any moment God can take things away, because I didn't make myself this good. God was there molding me, helping me, developing these crafts in me. I always knew it wasn't all me. I'm just following his path, following his journey. Everything that I do and enjoy, the things that come easy to me, it's only because of him, and I know that. Faith without works is dead, but you have to understand that God is still with you, aligning your path if you allow him to, and his hand is in everything you do. So to say that you're self-made, you're no longer allowing God to have the credit that he deserves in getting you to where you are. That's where so many people put their job and what they're good at above God, because they're just like, well, this is what defines me. But you should never let a job, your race, things that you do on a daily basis, things that so say make you define you. You are a Christian first. You're God's child first. So whenever you put a lot of importance into what people expect of you or what you expect of yourself, you are not only causing unnecessary stress because you're having to keep up appearances, but you're also, you know, not giving God that credit. I don't subscribe to the whole self-made thing. No, I'm God-made. All of this is not for me. Everything that you feel you've worked for can be taken away at any time. So it's also important to keep that humility, that humbleness, you know, having an ego and thinking that you're more than you are, and thinking that you're more needed by people and that the people need you, which you may be needed, but at any moment when you don't have God in that first place in your life, he could take his hands off of you and you can fall from that pedestal. And that's one thing I've noticed too. It's like, once you fight so hard to get where you need to be, maybe outside of God's path for your life, and I have a whole video on that too, you know, you're working in your own strength to obtain. And I always say, everything that you work in your own strength to obtain, you're going to have to keep working that hard to maintain it. You're going to have to work and strive to keep yourself on that level. And if you don't have God in that space, it's going to be a lifetime of hard work to stay up here, because you got yourself up there. You know, you got the money, you got the house, you got the car. When it comes to certain things, you're like, oh, well, thank God. But are you really thanking him? Are you really understanding that God's vision of success is not always the same as our vision of success? So a lot of times people are striving to get the most money, the most followers. That may not be what God calls you for. He may not have called you to, oh, I need to be on the top level of this. I need to be doing this at the highest expanse. I need everybody to be my client. I need everybody to be my customer. I realized when I first started out, people would tell me, okay, everybody is not your ideal customer. Everybody is not going to be your client. And I just didn't understand. I'm like, why can't I market to everybody? Why can't I be for everyone? That's not how business works. Just like in business, you have to niche down. You have to envision who you're selling to, who is your ideal people. It can't be everybody. You can't do everything. That's not what God called us to do. It's so important to make sure that you keep your priorities straight when it comes to being an entrepreneur or being in business, because so fast you can go awry and the enemy tries to turn your head to the side just to look at something else and bring your focus somewhere else, and that's where everything breaks loose. That's where, whenever I was focused on building a clientele heavy, making sure I have a lot of clients, making sure my numbers look a certain way, I was so stressed out. And it's like I was to the point where I'm like, I can't take no days off because these people need their hair done. I felt like they just needed me. I felt, because that's how they was making me feel. They was like, well, you know, I need you to do my hair, I need my hair done for this event, I need this and that. But it's like, I hate to break it to you, what I had to realize is that I'm not needed. What I was providing was luxury services. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer. They didn't need me as much as I assumed. What I needed was to prioritize first God, and then prioritize myself, to make sure that my mental health was going good, to make sure that I could sustain myself. I wasn't taking any trips, I wasn't taking any breaks. People had me in the salon from like 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and it's just because I wasn't realizing that God didn't call me to overextend myself. And that's the thing too. Everybody kept telling me, oh, in your younger years, make sure that you are working hard, just do everything you can to get the money. I can't live for money, because that's not what God called us to do. Our main purpose on earth is to spread his word and to share the love of Christ. I would be working so hard to where the point where I couldn't even think about my own issues or what I needed to do within myself, because I was working hard to deal with everyone else's needs but my own. It's so important to keep that humility and keeping God first place in your life when it comes to being a business owner, when it comes to providing services in the workplace, just dealing with the general public. You can need to be humble in some friendships. You be like, I have to talk to them because they need my words of advice. Are the people listening? Are they following your advice? A lot of times you think you're more important to these people than they even think that you are. Ask yourself, when was the last time they asked you how you were doing? When was the last time they actually took some of your advice? It's so important for you to know your place in people's life and understand that you have to be self-aware. I say that all the time. It's so important to be self-aware and understand the part you play, not only in God's kingdom but in the world, to where you are putting yourself in the correct position. It's so important to help others, but you have to be self-aware when doing that. You can't think you're putting yourself in a God position to where you are, you know, the vessel that's going to make or break these people. No, God is the one that's going to help them. You can't stress yourself out on trying to fix people or just, you know, be someone's everything. Even when it comes to business, a lot of times you can be providing a service or a product, people will make it seem life or death, and it is not life or death. Like I said, unless you are a doctor, lawyer, someone of that importance to hold people's life in your hands, you're not God. That's not what this is. So today I just want to remind you to remain humble. You're never as big a fish as you think you are. Doing what he needs you to do, but also make sure to focus on yourself. Find that humility and find that love and self-awareness for yourself, to where you can prioritize your own well-being. Okay, it's so important to give out, but you cannot pour from an empty cup, and I say that all the time. So I just want to remind you guys to consider yourself and consider what your soul needs. Consider that you are where you are because of God, and if you want better, ask God, what does that look like for you? Ask God, what is success for your path and your journey? Because you can't compare yourself to other people and think it's going to look exactly like them or their journey and their path. So I think that is all for today. If I have any thoughts while editing this, I will add it in there. But I just want to come on here really quick and give you guys some more of my knowledge. The reason why I don't post a lot of Maja Speaks anymore is because I never want to speak on anything I haven't been through. I'm not trying to teach you lessons that I haven't been working on or conquered. I'm just here talking to you guys. That's why I'm just talking and giving you guys my faith-filled experience, giving you guys some insight on my journey to hopefully help you. If you guys have any questions, any comments, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at everything by Maja, and I will see you guys in my next video.